Alright, hi guys, this is Nova Parrot, and welcome to a new episode of Creepypasta Stories Info. This is my second time recording this, because Camtasia is being a massive twat. I am very angry at Camtasia, and I would really much enjoy it if my computer would just go... Yeah, that's exactly what the fan does. It goes, yeah, you're trying to record something. Yeah. We are going to be reading The Rake. And the Rake is a proxy, and there is actually a story about it. I would read the actual thing about the proxy, but I tried that already, and Camtasia didn't like it, just like Camtasia doesn't like anything I do. But hey, why can't I do anything right, Camtasia? Why can't I do anything right? Alright, so after that little incident, I guess we can put all that behind us. Fuck you, Camtasia. Alright, I think it's all out of my system. Fuck you, Camtasia! Okay, it's definitely out of my system now. Fuck you, Camtasia. Alright, so my breathing's really wheezy for some reason. Hang on, give me like 5 seconds. I'm actually severely sick, and yeah, the universe hates me. Probably because I'm wearing a Marvel shirt, but there's nothing wrong with Marvel. I mean, why would you hate me for wearing a Marvel shirt? I'm better than fucking DC. I'm just gonna get a bunch of Superman and Batman fans just come at me. I like Batman. But I prefer Marvel heroes, no, I prefer Marvel. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's read a creepypasta or 50 bajillion. I will be right back. Shall we do this? We shall not? Oh, okay. Just for the record, you suck. So let's get into reading this, shall we? During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in rural New York State, and once found in Idaho, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright to discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, their memories remain powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book. This will be fun! A suicide note from 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. I've gone from like David Attenborough to something really not David Attenborough-ish. Anyway, I'll start from the beginning. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice, and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Libby, or Liney, or something, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. A journal entry, translated from Spanish, 1880. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. Not convincing enough? All it says is unintelligible text. I can't do anything better. Don't ask me to do better than what I can't do. Alright, after that, a mariner's log. 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again at the request of the Rake. Ooh. So, anyway, from a witness in 2006. This will be good. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the... I was just reading that in the least feminine voice I could master. My husband and I... Let me try that again with a more feminine voice. Give me a second, I need to catch my breath. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. About 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him up in the process. I apologized and told him I thought he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet from the end of the bed so quickly, his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. Then he grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. The foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man, or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that I was supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed, and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed, until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5. It just seemed like a while, just looking at my husband. The creature then placed its hand on his knee and ran into the hallway leading to the kids' rooms. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over for about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flicked the switch on the wall and saw my daughter Clara. Claro. My daughter Clara, man. Yes. Alright. I can't continue with this voice anymore. It's hurting my throat. I'm sorry. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the Rake." I could just imagine a little girl saying that in exactly my voice. I would shit myself and run. I'd just be like, "Oh, go away, spawn of Satan!" Or something like that. Something along those lines. My husband drove his car into a lake that night. While rushing our daughter to the hospital, they did not survive. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town who had a similar story. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. You have two other people in New York who had seen the creature we now referred to as the Rake. It took the four of us to about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the Rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages, and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the Rake. That was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many experiences where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the Rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night for 2 weeks. I would tediously scan through the sounds of me rolling around in my bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the 2nd week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at least 8 times the normal speed. This still took almost an hour every day. On the first day of the third week, blah 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 blah. I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the Rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before, and I now believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason the voice in the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head made me very upset. I have not seen the Rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know, and fear, that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me. So yeah, that was very, very, very fun. I have a headache. I should really get some sleep. Well, what time is it? It's like 7:20. So that's not really going to happen, is it? So, thank you for watching. You've been a wonderful audience. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you really want to. If you don't, well, then Right. So, also, this has been a requested video. I've had 3 of those. Well, 2. No, 3. I actually had 3 requested videos. This is fantastic. I feel warm inside. 3 people want to hear my voice. The rest of you fucking suck. No, I'm joking. You guys are amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Yeah, I can't anymore. There's a bit of paper. Ooh. I can use this to hook my eyes out. Yeah, or something. This is Neverhurt. Signing off.